if you've been following me for a while, or if you know me personally in real life, then you might know that I am a triplet. We are all girls. No, we're not identical. We do look very different, etc., etc. Those are the questions everyone asks when they find out, so I wanted to get them out the way. I've recently been thinking about how triplets are represented in the media, on television and film and things like that. I'm just going to do quite a surface level look at it today, but if you find this interesting and you want more of my triplet hot takes, then please do let me know in the comments. I'm going to go from depictions of triplets that I personally don't like and depictions of triplets that I think are better or good and things like that. So first up, the depictions of triplets that I like the least are the ones where we are the main character's happy ending, basically. So I'm thinking Shrek the Third and Parks and Recreation, but if you can think of any more examples, let me know. Now, even though I absolutely love the Shrek film series, I think Shrek 2 is one of the funniest films ever written, genuinely, and Parks and Recreation is okay as well. But let's be clear, I am not your main character's quirky happy ending. I am my own person. I am a human being. I am not just something funny and quirky to put in at the end of your film or TV show to wrap it all up in a nice little bow. I have my own thoughts and my own story. I want to be my own person, basically. And I also think it downplays how difficult it is as a parent to have triplets. Obviously, I'm not a parent of triplets, but growing up as a triplet, it is difficult. Honestly, this is probably going to be my most controversial take of this. So I fully expect there to be a bit of controversy about this, but I kind of believe that if you're having more than 2 kids of the same age at the same time, so you as 2 parents are outnumbered by the amount of kids, I don't believe that you actually will have the right amount of time and energy to spend on each individual child. I don't like saying like controversial hot takes like this, but this is my hot take. So what I'm saying is, if you are a couple, 2 parents, and you have more than 2 kids of the same age at the same time, so I'm not talking about siblings here, same age at the same time, I do not believe that with all the milestones and developmental milestones that your children will hit, that you will have enough time to individually spend on your children, like one-to-one. This is just my opinion. Of course, you may think differently. You may be a parent of triplets or of quadruplets or something, and you'll be like, no, it's fine. Yeah, I've got all their milestones, knew all their first words and things like that. Okay, great. But that is my hot take. I hate that I've come out straight out the gate like this with these takes, but that is just what I think. So Shrek the Third and Parks and Rec come bottom of my sort of tier ranking of triplet depictions in media because it's so one-dimensional. The triplets don't have their own personality, really. It downplays how, I think, difficult it is being a parent of triplets as well, and it's just meant to be a quirky, funny, happy ending for the main character. So I do not like that. And before I talk about the next stage, something that happens a lot as well in media, especially if you're female, if you're a female set of twins or female triplets or anything like that, is I think we do get sexualised a lot by the media and the public. There are lots of men out there who fantasise about being with twins or triplets or things like that. They imagine us all looking perfectly identical in exactly the same outfits, all being promiscuous and things like that. So there's an extra layer of sexualization that I've felt throughout my life, being a woman and being a woman of multiple birth. What's the word? Being a woman in a set of triplets. Let me know if you're a twin and you can relate to this as well, or if you're a quad or etc. and you can relate to it. Because I really felt this growing up, that people are like, ooh, triplets, and they've all gone a bit weird about it. My next stage of tier in depictions of triplets would be the triplets that you've seen probably if you've watched the film Beauty and the Beast. There's the animated Disney version, there's a live action version. I'm specifically thinking of the animated Disney Beauty and the Beast right now. There's 3 female triplets. At least we assume that they're triplets because they're all dressed the same. And their names are literally the Bimbettes. Yeah, they're literally called the Bimbettes, and their whole character is all 3 of them acting exactly the same and swooning over the main antagonist of the film, Gaston. So they all sing at the same time, they all have the same actions. The only difference between them is that the identical dresses they wear are in different colours. These characters, as you can see, are quite sexist really, so that's not great, but at least they have a tiny bit more personality than ogre triplets. I don't know. The whole thing is them swooning over Gaston and all acting the same. The film kind of punishes them for that. Like, literally these bimbets, which is what they're supposed to be called, they have actually done nothing wrong in the film. They've just got the hots for some guy in town. That's literally it. And yet I feel like the film punishes them for that. I think in the live action version they get covered in mud or something like that. They have done nothing wrong. They have just been triplets. They've just been going about their lives and they've just been into some guy. I want to hear their story more. I want to hear more about who each of them are as a person, because twins, triplets, quadruplets, we are not just carbon copies of each other. Even if you meet identical twins or something, even if we all act really similar, we're still our own person. We still have our own thoughts, wants and dreams. We're not like an exact clone carbon copy of the other person. Even if we are identical, we still have different thoughts and wants and things like that. So I want to hear more about the Bimbets stories. I think the live action version of Beauty and the Beast called them village lasses or something like that. So I think even they'd realise that that wasn't a nice term to call these ladies. Going slightly up from that sort of tier, there's two sets of twins in two different media that are quite similar, so I'll talk about them in the same vein. You've got the triplets in the Disney film Brave. Disney likes triplets for some reason, and I think their names are like Hamish and Angus and just Scottish names like that. And there's Huey, Dewey and Louie, which are Donald Duck's nephews, I think. Growing up in the UK, I don't know that much about Huey, Dewey and Louie because they seem to be quite American characters. But my point is that both of these sets of triplets are similar in that they're all pretty much identical. They're all young boys and they all get up to mischief. It's interesting because Huey, Dewey and Louie are kind of, I think they have their own TV series and their main characters, so at least there's a bit more focus on them there rather than being an add-on to the main character or a side character or something. So at least Huey, Dewey and Louie are more main characters. But it's interesting to compare how male triplets and female triplets are treated. Female triplets are sexualised, all acting the same, bimbos. Male triplets, they're mischievous, they get up to stuff together, they're crafty, they come up with plots, they're smart. It says a lot, doesn't it? It says a lot. So because these characters have a little bit more autonomy and things like that, then I'd say they're pretty good, but they're always together, they're always working together. Again, as triplets, you'll be independent, you'll be apart from your siblings at some point. Wow, what a concept. Yeah, you might not always be attached with your siblings and carrying out plots with them, but maybe you will. So I rank them slightly higher than the Bimbets because they have a slightly more favourable representation, but not that much higher. Again, they're still pretty one-dimensional and yeah. I was searching triplet characters online to see like what other sort of triplets were featured in media, and I don't know if these really count to me, but a slight tier up from Huey, Dewey and Louie and the triplets in Brave would be Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's really ridiculous, but Alvin and the Chipmunks, they again follow that sort of male boy triplet trope that we seem to have of them all being mischievous and doing things together. But again, Alvin and Chipmunks have a bit more autonomy, and crucially each chipmunk has a bit more of their own personality. So I think Simon, the one who wears glasses, he looks different from his siblings and he's meant to be smart or something, and oh god, I can't remember the personalities of the other two, but I'd say they're a step up because they actually wear different clothes, which we haven't come across yet really. They wear different clothes and they have their own personalities a little bit more. Again, they're still reduced to just singular traits, like this is the smart chipmunk, this is the leader chipmunk, this is the main character chipmunk, and this is the baby chipmunk or whatever of the triplets. And I don't really like that much because growing up, me and my sisters have always been reduced to one-dimensional traits in a similar way. So people that my parents have met and worked with or family friends, they've looked at us and they've gone, oh, so this triplet's a smart one, this triplet's the pretty one, this triplet's the good dancer or whatever. So people have always tried to categorise me and my sisters into these neat little boxes. So this triplet is the smart triplet, this triplet is the pretty triplet, and this triplet is the sporty triplet or something. And that wasn't nice growing up with that, to be honest. I imagine, again, twins, other multiple births are available, they get that as well. And I believe it fosters unhealthy competing with your siblings for attention, to be viewed as more than just the smart one or the pretty one and things like that. So I feel a bit icky that Alvin and the Chipmunks are reduced to that in a similar way. But like I said, they've got a bit more of their own personalities. They wear different clothes. Groundbreaking. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not 24 and still wearing the exact same clothes as my sisters. Insane, I know. So that's why I ranked them slightly higher in my tiers. Let's get on to our final examples. 2 examples of triplets in film and television that I think are quite good. The first one is actually the Powerpuff Girls. Now, I did not realise that the Powerpuff Girls were triplets. That had never crossed my mind. I had to go onto Google and actually double check this. So I think the Powerpuff Girls are technically triplets because they were born at the same time and things like that. But let me know what you think if you disagree, if you know your Powerpuff Girls lore. But everything I said online seemed to roughly agree that they are triplets. Now I wish I'd known that. That would have been nice to have seen some triplet representation there, but I didn't realise they were. It's never made a big deal of, but maybe that's the point. Blossom, Bubbles and... oh my god, what's the other girl's name? Buttercup. Blossom, is it Buttercup? I think it's Buttercup. We'll assume it's Buttercup. Blossom, Bubbles and Buttercup. They all look actually different. So yeah, me and my sisters, we also have different hair colours. We didn't come out looking exactly like each other. Maybe identical twins or triplets would, of course, but we did not. So the Powerpuff Girls all look different. They all have different hair colours, they have different eye colours, and incredibly, yes, that can happen with triplets. We can have different hair colours. When we were born, me and my, older sister, we have very light brown, dark blonde hair, but my younger sister has really bright blonde hair. And I don't think the creators of the Powerpuff Girls were thinking about them being triplets when they were being designed. Really, I don't think that was in their mind. But hey, it's nice to see triplets with different personalities, and I think the Powerpuff Girls are a little bit more fleshed out than the other examples we've covered. I think they're probably more fleshed out than Alvin and the Chipmunks. But again, the Powerpuff Girls are constantly together and things like that. It would be nice to see triplet characters where they're out and about separate from the other two, doing their own things in life and things. Of course, you can hang out with your siblings, just like any normal person with normal siblings. It would be nice to see triplets exist outside of their identity as a triplet, if that makes sense. So it would be nice to see, I don't know, Blossom go into the shops by herself, meeting up with her own friends because she has her own friend group. They don't all have to share the same clothes. They don't all have to share the same friend group. They don't all have to do the same job. Triplets, in fact, most triplets probably don't have the same friend group, clothes or job and things like that. It would be nice to see constituent members of a triplet group treated as individual people. I'm saying this because I'm a very individual person, if you can't tell. The last film we're going to talk about that in my view has a good representation of triplets would be the Disney film Encanto. Disney has popped up a lot in this. They, like I said, they do like triplets. Disney overall, I think, has a lot of problems as a company, so I'm not too keen to go, yeah, Disney, the whole time. But I do think this is something that they did pretty well on and was certainly an improvement from their previous triplet representations of the Scottish triplets in Brave and the Bimbets in Beauty and the Beast. So in Encanto, the triplet characters are, how can I describe who they are? Because I can't remember their names. The main character's mum is one of the 3 triplets, if that helps. And then the main character's aunt and her uncle, I think the aunt's called Pepper, she has ginger hair as well, and the uncle's called Bruno, who the song is about as well. So those 3 are the triplets, and I like it because, again, these 3 characters have their own personalities. The mom, who's, I can't remember her name, but she's one of the triplets, Pepper and Bruno, like I said, they've got their own personalities, they do their own thing, they wear different clothes, and crucially they all look very different as well, but you know that they're siblings still. So Pepper looks very different from her sister and her brother. They all have their own personalities that are quite fleshed out, right? So they've all got their own worries and fears that are different from each other. They didn't then go on and marry another set of triplets or anything like that and then all have triplets themselves or something ridiculous like that. that you might see in other media. That basically a good representation of triplets is just where they're acting like their own individual people that just happen to be siblings and they have a normal sibling relationship, because that is true. And let me know if you're a twin and you can relate to this as well, because I know that identical twins, especially in media, are portrayed as being like telepathic and a bit creepy and things like that, and all these negative things like they've got this twin connection or whatever. Twins, triplets, we're just normal people. Maybe if you are identical, maybe you do have a little bit more of a closer connection, obviously, to someone who looks exactly like you. But we're not weird, we're not telepathic, we are still our own people. Even if we're identical or not, we're still our own people with our own thoughts and dreams and etc. So the best representation of triplets are where they just act like normal characters that have siblings. So if you have a sibling, your relationship with your sibling is probably like a triplet's relationship with their siblings. It's not different. We're not all going to wear the same clothes because we were born at the same time or anything like that. Anyway, so I dropped a few takes in that. Maybe I'll regret this later. But I dropped a few takes in that. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you've got any other characters you'd like me to take a look at. If you found this topic interesting and you'd like to hear me talk about aspects of being a triplet and triplet representation more, then I'm more than happy to. One thing that I touched on in this video that I'd really like to talk about a bit more as well is the sexualization of female twins and female triplets and things like that. So let me know if you want to hear more about that as well. If you've got any hot takes of your own, if you're a twin or a triplet yourself, then let me know as well. Pop it in the comments and we can all chat together. Cool. Thanks for watching. Bye.